Hello and welcome back to the third rail. We have another addition to the collection today. I just received this little German shunter and I thought we should have a first look at it together. This model is also a mini milestone for the collection, as I now have one example of each livery made by Märklin for this class in the 1980s. As usual with the new additions format, we'll cover a bit of trivia around the model, a bit of history about the prototype to put it in context. We'll then have a closer look, do a quick test, and we'll do something a bit different for this format today. To finish the video, I'll get all the models of this type I have in the collection out for a quick show and tell. If this sounds interesting, grab a cup or glass of the poison of your choice, sit back, relax, and make yourself comfortable. All right, let the show begin. This new arrival is model number 3131, representing a Class 361 shunter of the Deutsche Bundesbahn. This model was released in 1989. You'll find it on page 19 of the catalogue that year. There it is. The model was also advertised in digital configuration under reference 3631. The production for this version only started in early to mid-1990. Both analog and digital versions are cosmetically identical. Most of you will know that this model is based on the old V60 BR260 tooling first used for models 3064 and 3065 in 1963, and that the main difference is the new livery. This model also features a redesigned cab roof with a larger antenna. On this tooling, the roof is an individual part. This new design was being rolled out across the entire range of models based on the tooling at the time. The pictures in the catalogue did not reflect this change. With this in mind, 3131 is technically identical to the 3065 sold that year. We'll find it lower down on the same page. In 1992, Märklin stopped selling low-cost versions of its models in supermarkets and department stores. The Primex brand it had used for this purpose since 1969 was discontinued in the process. It was replaced by the Hobby range, a new line of low-cost entry-level models available in the standard program and sold using the Märklin reseller network. 3131 was among the initial choice of products transferred to the Hobby range. In 1993, 3631 was discontinued. 3131 remained in the program unchanged until its withdrawal in 2001. Okay, now it's time for a few vital statistics. The model measures 12 cm buffer to buffer. The chassis is zinc die-cast and the body is made of plastic. The model is fitted with a drum-type electromechanical reversing unit, controlling a small 3-pole flat collector motor, that's the SFCM type in Märklin lingo. It's self-driving 3 axles, or 4 if you count the blind axle, one of which is fitted with a pair of traction tires. The reversing unit also controls TELEX couplings used for remote uncoupling anywhere on the layout, so no need for remote uncoupling tracks with this model. Additionally, we have triple headlights on both ends, 2 lights at the bottom of the nose, and 1 at cab level. They are non-directional, so always on. So we have quite a bit of functionality in a small package. Okay, let's have a high-level overview of the prototype for context. The model represents a diesel hydraulic shunting locomotive of the Deutsche Bundesbahn, the Baureihe 361, or Class 361 in English. This class of locomotives is often overlooked, but it was a critical cog in the Deutsche Bundesbahn system for decades. There aren't many trains or pieces of rolling stock that didn't come in contact with one of these shunters until the early 2000s. The origins of the class go back to 1950. The then very young Bundesbahn was facing a shortage of small shunting locomotives. Design work started in 1951. This was a design by committee affair, as most German locomotive manufacturers took part in the process. The new locomotive was classed as V60. The first 5 prototypes were built by Henschel, Krauss-Maffei, Krupp and MAK, then delivered in 1955. These prototypes were fitted with a variety of motorizations for testing purposes. In the end, the Maybach GT06, a 12-cylinder 650 horsepower diesel engine, was chosen for production. Coupled to a Voigt transmission, it gave the locomotive a maximum mainline speed of 60 km per hour and 30 km per hour in shunting gear. A first batch of 275 units was ordered the same year. The locomotive was produced by 8 manufacturers, all the usual suspects, as you can see. Over a period of 9 years, the Bundesbahn ordered 6 batches for a total of 942 units. This number includes 319 heavy-duty units with improved adherence and traction, manufactured between 1959 and 1962. This was achieved with a reinforced frame and a few heavier body panels, bringing the operational weight up to 54 tons. This could be increased by up to 6 tons with additional ballast. The locomotives very quickly became a familiar sight in most depots and stations all over West Germany. Some units were also ordered from foreign railway companies, for example in Israel or Greece. V60s were also built under license in Belgium for the SNCB. In 1968, the locomotives received new running numbers, compatible with computer systems introduced at the time by the Bundesbahn. This was an opportunity to differentiate between versions. Light units were allocated class number 260, and the heavier units were classed as 261. In 1987, the locomotives received the designation of Klein Lok, or small locomotive. This meant they could now be driven by small locomotive operators instead of locomotive drivers. This was basically a cost-saving measure. This change triggered another reclassification into class 360 and 361, split between light and heavy units as before. But operators still required someone on the ground to guide them and help perform coupling operations. This is a notoriously dangerous job and also a financial overhead. A pilot to reduce this dependency took place between 1986 and 1987. Radio control equipment was retrofitted to 27 units to allow the driver to perform some of these ground tasks without assistance. The pilot was successful. The units kept their new configuration and were reclassed as 364 and 365 in 1988. During the 1990s, about half of the fleet was converted to radio controls. These locomotives are known as Funkloks or radio locos. Meanwhile, the class was starting to show its age, and the withdrawals in larger numbers started. In 1982, 939 of the original 942 units were still in service. By 1993, this number had been reduced to 797. Many of the locomotives withdrawn in the 1980s were acquired by foreign operators, for example the Norwegian NSB, where they became DI5, or the Yugoslavian Railways, who classed them as 734. Withdrawals would be ongoing throughout the 1990s, prioritizing classes 360 and 361. From 1997 onwards, 364 and 365s were retrofitted with new Caterpillar motors as part of the maintenance cycle. These units were reclassed as 362 and 363 in the process. By early 2003, all 360 and 361s had been withdrawn, leaving only 432 members of classes 362 to 365 on the books. It is at that point that summarized inventories get tricky to get, as the fleet was dispersed through sales or M&A activities. I can only say that many units of all flavors of the class are still active today. DB Cargo Deutschland still operates a few of them, as do many private operators. Our prototype was built by Henschel. It is one of the heavier units. It entered service in December 1960 under running number V60 838. It was painted in the standard dark red livery used for diesel engines of the time. In 1968, it was renumbered to 261 838-7. Then in 1987, it was renumbered again to 361 838-6. In 1988, it received a new Orient Red livery as part of the maintenance cycle. In 1990, it was retrofitted with radio control equipment, then renumbered to 365 838-2. With the privatization of the Bundesbahn in 1994, the locomotive was reallocated to various activity pools in short succession to finally land on the books of the DB Cargo in 1999. That year, the locomotive received the DB Cargo Traffic Red livery during its inspection. In 2003, it followed the DB Cargo to Rheinland when the company was set up. It was parked in 2006 and officially withdrawn in 2008. In 2009, the locomotive was transferred to a preservation society, the HEG in Gelsenkirchen. Judging by the pictures I could find, it looks like the locomotive was refurbished and kept in working condition for a while, but information is quasi-inexistent after 2016. If you know about its whereabouts or status today, the comment section is all yours. This completes the high-level overview of the prototype. You'll find links to the sources used to compile it, as well as photo credits, in the video description down below as usual. Alright, time to have a look at my 3131. And there we are. I think this was a buy it now listing from a German professional seller on eBay. It's been a while, so I can't remember much about the description. Let's see what we've got. We have the standard white packaging of the time. This is the original release packaging. After 1993, you would have had a hobby badge and a window on the front. The box is in good shape with all the usual storage marks. It does need a clean, I think. Alright, let's see what's inside. The model is in its tray. It looks intact by the looks of it. Let me tip the box. We have warranty papers and instructions. The instructions cover a series of related models with condensed prototype information. The tray is indeed intact and still see-through, and flexible. Right, let me get the model on a presentation rail so we can have a closer look. Okay, all done. And I think we have a problem. We'll get to that in a second. The red livery was the main event for this release. It had just been introduced by the Deutsche Bundesbahn as part of a new product-based color scheme with a new unified livery for locomotives. It foresaw the use of Orient red for the body, with white stripes of varying sizes and placements depending on the engine. This choice was mainly safety-driven. The color scheme was presented in 1986, but its rollout prioritized highly visible Bundesbahn projects, such as high-speed lines or intercity. For everything else, the rollout was supposed to happen organically following the life cycle of the equipment, so either through end-of-life replacement or as part of the maintenance cycle. There are more details about this in an older video of mine. I have put a link at the top if you are interested. Now, if we look closer at the model, we'll immediately notice a few cracks, something I completely missed on the listing pictures. I don't know what happened here. Either the pictures were blurry or I simply didn't pay enough attention. I didn't even notice the problem when I checked the model upon reception, so it could be a mixture of everything. I can't even remember who I bought this from. It was some time ago, so I don't think I can do anything about this now. What a disaster! Okay, well, let's go around the model anyway. We have a crack on the front ladder. We can see we have blackened wheels and red accents on the coupling rods. We have another crack by the cab. How could I not see that? The model must have been dropped sometime. All inscriptions are still legible, though, and the windows are see-through. Moving to the front, the handrails are in good shape. The paint has survived the last 40 years pretty much unscathed. Yep. And looking at the other side, we are in much better shape. No cracks on this side for a start. Yes, that looks much better, doesn't it? And the other end of the loco looks very good too. All right, quick look from above. The roof is in good shape. On silver versions, earlier ones or later ones, you have to really be careful about that point. And the chassis looks very good too. Well, that was all a bit anticlimactic. Let's move to the layout. And there we are. I shall rail the model. Bring you a bit closer, maybe. Right, the reversing unit makes the right sounds. We have motion. We can go backwards and forwards, as you can see. Let's check the TELEX couplings. So they are lifting, going forwards. Let's reverse and check the other direction. Yep, that's working too. Let's look at the other side. The coupling lifts again in one direction. And same in the other. Cool. At least that bit is okay. The model doesn't sound too bad. It might need a bit of oil and maybe some tires. Now, I won't service it given its state, but I'll open it so we can have a look. I know some of you like that bit. Right, on this model, we only need to loosen a single screw on the roof. and the body simply lifts off. And we are back in 1963. We have a flat collector universal motor with its graphite and copper brushes. Then we have the multifunction reversing unit for the telex couplings with its little ratchet at the top. And we have incandescent bulbs. Very old school at the time already. Let's check if the bulbs work. Yep, no problem. Okay, let me reassemble the model. I'll show you its party trick quickly. I need to grab a wagon. Okay, so we know that this model does remote uncoupling. We have seen the couplings lifting earlier. Let's see them in action with a wagon now. So we are going forward at the moment. I'll stop the shunter. Now I'll give it a reverse pulse and reapply power. And we can see that the coupling is lifted. The wagon's coupling loop disengages and clears the hook. And the wagon is now decoupled from the loco. Aren't electromechanics beautiful? Now, the next pulse is going to set me into reverse, and the next one into reverse with uncoupling. So I need one more pulse to carry on ahead with uncoupling switched off. And of course, to change direction without uncoupling, I need to do a double pulse. There we go. This was telex functionality in less than 60 seconds. We could also see that the model has very good low-speed driving characteristics. And I didn't even do a service. Okay, that would be it for that model. Today I thought we'd finish the video with a quick look at the other models of this type I have in the collection. We start with an old acquaintance. That's my Lucky Shunter. It featured in the Layout Build series where it was used to test the track as I was laying it. It's a battered 1960s 3064. It has a pre-1968 running number. And it displays the most common issue with used models of this type. The paint on the roof is flaking off in places. That's one of the things to pay attention to when buying these things, especially with silver roofs. Alright, let's move to the next unit. We'll fast forward to the 1980s and we'll proceed chronologically. So we'll start with 3064 as it looked between 1969 and 1981. Its sibling 3065 looked the same during that time. By now it had become a class 260 with an updated running number. And below it we can see we still have a molded plate in the plastic. Between 1982 and 1983, Märklin made a few updates. We'll move to 3065 to have a look. Here it is. This is a 1983 model, and we have two changes. First of all, the livery is slightly darker, and the little plate on the lower side of the cab is now gone. We have telex couplings on this model. The changes were staggered, so you can find darker versions of the 3065 with a plate. Alongside 3064 and 3065, you could also get a Belgian version. It was reference 3149. There it is. On this model, the top headlight at cab level is covered, so we only have dual headlights both sides. It's basically a 3065 with no telex. The model had the same body as the current German version of the time. This one's a 1983 model, so we have no plate under the running number. Earlier version had one, of course. Now, the same year, we're still in 1983, the 3064 was withdrawn. You could still get it as a part of the 2853 maintenance train for another year until 1984. And this is the one we have on the track now. In 1983, 3064 was replaced by 3141 in the standard program. This model incorporated all the tooling changes and introduced a blue-beige 74 color scheme livery. And in 1985, 3149 dropped off the catalogs, was withdrawn. The same year, Märklin Digital was introduced. A new 3665 was part of the launch lineup. So I'm missing the first version, which looked like the 3065 of the time, but with a different running number. Like its analog sister, it featured TELEX couplings. In 1987, the 3665 reacquired the same running number as the analog 3065. In 1988, 3148, a DI5 of the NSB, joined the lineup. It was an export model sold in Norway only that year, then worldwide the year after, with a minor correction on the roof. Here we have version 1. And the 3131 would have been the next in line in 1989-1990. The modifications made for the roof of the 3131 were adopted on 3065, 3665, 3141, and 3148 the same year. And you can see the effect on this 3665 from 1990. See, we've got a larger antenna on the silver roof. Then things stayed this way until 1992. Märklin made major changes to the V60 tooling in 1993 for both body shell and chassis as well as motorization. From that point, all models of this type no longer have too much in common with the 1963 original, bar one exception, our 3131, which was sold as is until 2001. Okay, that will be it for today. Well, things sometimes go wrong. Fortunately, this wasn't an expensive mistake. I hope you enjoyed the trip down memory lane. If you have made it that far, you have been very brave. Thank you for spending so much of your valuable time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please let others know with a little thumbs up, a comment, or a subscription. And if you'd like, you can also contribute to the upkeep of the collection by buying a super thanks. Thanks again so much for all your support. Until next time, bye for now.